Rob, thank you for joining us. The trip to BRISTOL ROVERS this weekend. Can I get your thoughts ahead of that game?
Yeah, no, it's going to be a tough game. Obviously, there's a brilliant atmosphere down there. They're a very good team, very robust, very physical, but then also can play. I know a few of the players. I know the manager as well, and Matty's done a brilliant job since he's gone there. So yeah, it's a very difficult place to go. I remember when as a player I went there, and it's it can be a difficult place to go. So I think the challenge for us is to go into these places now with the confidence that we built along the last few games, and make sure we have that steel and mentality to know that it's going to get any points away from home at this level is tough, and we need to go there and really sort of really imprint ourselves on the game in terms of our mentality and our bravery on the ball, but also our bravery out of possession. Keep a good line, be more aggressive higher up. And just keep improving the things we've improved on. We need to get better from set pieces, and because at this level it's such a big thing. It's a big thing at any level, but at this level is particular. But what has been good is our our defensive structure and shape from in play. Is getting better and better, and the lads are grasping what we're trying to do, and we need to make sure that we're not only continue doing that, but we get even more aggressive with it, because the more we can turn the ball over, and hopefully the more we can get the lads doing what we enjoy watching is them on the ball.
Yeah, and lots of positives to take from the last few fixtures. I mean, a point against a very big side in Huddersfield is going to bring a lot of confidence into games like this. As you say, it's a very hard place to go, and obviously they've got a big strong side as well, so we'll be taking every sort of positive from the last few games into this, won't we?
Yeah, definitely we have to. The Huddersfield game, it zapped everything out of us. Obviously, we had the game midweek as well, but that's what you have to do to get points at this level. You have to any football, any football level, but especially as we made the step up and playing against some of these teams and clubs that have been very established higher up or even higher. That's what it takes just to even be able to compete, and then we want our quality to come through more. We want the game understanding and our overall play to come through more. But the big thing for me is that lads gave us absolutely everything on Saturday. Our physical data was the best it's been in terms of our high intensity running. So that was brilliant to see. It shows the lads are working and they're willing to run, they're willing to work. And I felt that in transition moments when we did lose the ball, we got men behind the ball really quickly. We dealt with the sort of crosses in the box and directness reasonably well. And we're going to have to do that. And I think what I took from the game is that the lads didn't let their heads drop. Previously when we have conceded first or teams have pulled things back, it sort of knocked us. But I felt like we even though it's disappointing to lose 2 leads, I thought we still reacted well to go on and get the second goal, and then also to make sure that we got through and got a very good point.
Yeah, we've had lots of games recently. It seems to have just been the luck of the draw on this occasion that we haven't come up against one of pretty much every single side in the league who would have had 3 international call-ups, which meant the game would have been off. I suppose in some respects it's good to sort of maybe get a jump. If we were to get 3 points on Saturday, it would probably move us out the relegation zone because some other teams aren't playing. But equally, we are a little bit sort of thin on the ground with bodies, so maybe the weekend off wouldn't have been the worst thing. But I suppose you just have to sort of adapt and overcome, because that's football. Some games we're going to get off and some games we aren't.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I've been in 5 weeks now, and it's probably been, is this the 9th game?
Yeah, I think so.
So it's non-stop, and it'd be great to have more time in the training pitch with the lads, because we feel like we're patching people up, and we're not able to get everyone on the pitch at all times because of the knocks we've got. But then also on the flip side to that, the mentality of the group's been exceptional from some of the players who are playing with like big knocks and injuries and issues, and they're still rolling out every single week for us. So there's pros and cons to everything, but you can't worry about that now. We've just got to attack Saturday in every way possible, and make sure that we build on the things that we've done the last few weeks. And I think the mentality now is that we have to go and attack every game. If we want to survive at this level, we can't survive by sitting back and by hoping to nick results, or by having that mentality. We've got to go and have an aggressive, positive mentality where we're going to win games, we're going to pick up points, and especially going to score goals. Teams at this level carry such a threat that we have to be able to negate it, and we have to work really hard. But we also, in my opinion, the best way to make teams a bit more wary of going forward with loads of numbers is to really hurt them the other way. So we need to make sure that we carry a threat and we're as diligent as possible when we're out of possession.
You mentioned it's a hard place to go to Memorial Ground. What makes it such a hard place? Is it the atmosphere?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a really good atmosphere. You know, you've got the when it gets going, it gets going well. They're a big club, supported well. I played there a few times when I was at Charlton, and yeah, it was always a good atmosphere, a good place to play. On the flip side, these are the games that you want to go to. You know, like what the good thing with this year, and I imagine that the lads have mentioned the step up in, you know, going to some of the away grounds you go to is like, you know, big crowds, big clubs, good atmospheres, and I think the lads seem to thrive on that. From what I've seen, you know, when we went to Reading, for example, the lads seem to thrive on these occasions. They've worked hard to get there. So I think that's the biggest thing for me is I just want us to go there and attack the game in the best way possible. Make sure that when the game finishes after 90 minutes, we've given absolutely everything. We've physically given everything we possibly can, because I feel confident in the boys that technically and tactically their understanding and their ability is good, and I think if we keep working hard to get ourselves in the right areas and keep trying to do the things that we're asking of them consistently, then we can go to places like Bristol and others and, you know, give a good account of ourselves, and hopefully that adds to picking up points and picking up hopefully good wins as well.
Yeah, and I know you're down to bare bones. Is there anyone you're expecting back from injury for the weekend? Or
no, not as it stands. Obviously, Ty got minutes in the Bristol Street Motors game, which was brilliant. But again, I think the only thing I would just say is before, you know, even for myself, not getting carried away, is that's his first 30 minutes in 10 months. Yeah. He's only been on the grass for 3 weeks, so you know, we've got to be really careful with Ty, because I think he showed glimpses of, you know, how important and what an exciting player he's going to be for us. But we want to make sure he's on the pitch as much as possible. So, you know, we'll assess how he is, whether he can, you know, be a part of the squad, or whether that was just a first build up into where he needs to be. But no, as it stands now, we'll have to see how Gav is, because he unfortunately had a bit of a tight groin. So we'll see where Gav's at, and then we'll assess it from there. But the big thing for me is that no matter what happens, or no matter who's missing, I think what this squad has shown is they can be competitive no matter who's on the pitch, and that gives me massive confidence, because when you look around the dressing room as a player or as a coach, you get to see that it doesn't matter who's there. If they're all fighting for the cause and they're all giving everything for the team, and we're buying into what we're doing, then, you know, yes, we want everyone available because it makes us as strong as a squad, but it also, you're only as strong as your weakest man. And at the moment, for me, no, I don't think I could point out a weakest man. I think the squad have just gelled together, and since we've had all the setbacks, or so-called setbacks, they've become even tighter as a group. So that's the thing that's most pleasing. Yeah.
There's one fan who sits near us in the press box who can be particularly critical at times. On Saturday after the game, he looked at me and he said, "That Tola Shawunmi, he's some player, isn't he?" And which is quite high praise for that particular fan. And that, I mean, what do you think Tola brings? And is he pushing for a start in the league now? I know he started last night, but is he sort of pushing now? Because we haven't seen him start in the league yet.
No, Toles has been excellent. I think Toles obviously come over from America, come over from sort of a very different environment, and no, he's an unbelievable athlete. He's big, he's powerful, but I think he's just been getting used to the level, and he's building up and up. And I think we're seeing every training session and every day we're seeing improvements from Toles, and I think he's someone that's been really important for us, and he's got some brilliant attributes, and I think he's not just for the short term, he's for the long term for us, Tola. And I think the big thing for me with Toles is that he just needs to keep impacting games in whatever way, and I think, you know, when we've got the likes of Rushy, Swanee and Toles, and with Ty coming in, it gives us a real mix of attacking threat, and, you know, ideally you want to get as much attacking threat on the pitch as possible, and Tola comes into that. And I think for me personally, it's not a case of anyone getting a start, it's a case of everyone being ready to affect it as much as they can. And obviously, the big thing with this period we're in is just the amount of games, is making sure that there is a fine balance between understanding that we want our best players on the pitch, or as many attacking players on the pitch as long as possible, but also we want to make sure that we're not putting them at too much risk, hence why we've had to change this team around Burton's and even yesterday. So no, I'm really pleased with Tola, and I think he gets his goals, he's starting to score, he's starting to affect games more, and the big thing with Tola, he's got so much learning and so much understanding to come, that he's only going to get better and better. So it's just a massive bonus for us that no matter what situation we're in, we've got good options to be able to find solutions for any problems.
Yeah, I've done a quick count up, and I think you've had 10 games in 44 days. And people in football love comparisons. Scott Lindsay's first 10 games, you're slightly edging it. He's lost one more game than you. Does that bode well for the future with what Scott achieved?
Listen, what Scott done was incredible. So I don't think comparing's so I don't think it's very fair, and not to get out to yourself. But I think maybe it just shows that that this squad are adaptable in terms of different messages and everything that's gone on. So. Are you on about from the start? You're not on about start of the season, are you? From the very first?
No, from when you your first 10
I'll start
games.
That again, right? Okay,
yeah. Your first 10 games and Scott's first 10 games.
Yeah, sorry, I get you.
Yeah.
I did. I said 10 games. Didn't have 10 games, did we? But I'll start that again. Hopefully it bodes well. I think obviously the big thing with probably when Scott first come in and changed the culture and style, and obviously with us trying to adapt and evolve from what Scott's done, is that it does take time, and it's not always as simple as walking in and being able to work with the players for 6-7 weeks in pre-season. You come in and you're trying to sort of you're starting with a game sort of 2 days away against Wickham, for example, and then I don't think we've had 2-3 days training. I think we had 3 days in a row training once since we've been here, so it's really hard in terms of from a selfish point of view where you want to have loads of time, but no, I think to do it at this level against this squad and against these teams that we're playing against with the situation the squad's currently in, I think it's just a huge testament to the lads, and I think from my point of view I can really see the building blocks and see where we're improving, and I think the lads are starting to grasp that too. But I think, like I've said before, it's going to be a longer process. It's not going to be something that happens overnight, and we just have to stay consistent, stay patient, and stay together whilst we keep improving. And I think when we look back in 2-3 months' time, we'll really see the changes and the differences. Yeah,
and you mentioned there that you haven't had much time. After Saturday, I think you've got 2 weeks where it's Saturday. How much are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, no, it'll be good. I think it'll be good for the lads as well, mentally to have a break, and physically as well. Some of them need the rest, so it'll be good to be on the training pitch. It'll be good to set up for 2 games as well properly. We're able to get more detail into games because it's, like we went into Burton with one day's prep, and we was travelling to Derby, and we trained in the afternoon. But that's what it is. That's football. That's life. Hopefully it gives us more prep going into games. Means we're fresher, and it sets us up for another incredibly busy Christmas period.
Brilliant. Thanks, Rob. Nice.